Oh, right. That's what I wanted to do.
And there we go, we're unmuted and live.
Oh God. Already?
Yeah, and I've already forgotten the vital thing, which is the piece of software that runs the clock on the overlay. So, doing well. Doing really well so far.
Glad this is an off week. Oh god, that's bizarre. I now have a pair of hands growing out of my head.
Yeah, that happens.
Sorry, can't move this computer in the other room in this apartment.
It- like I said, I can't move that washing machine. So.
That's alright. See,
Right.
what we'll have to do is just recruit Tyler at some point.
Oh no. No. This is my husband who, when I told him I wanted to use the last name Tang, he's like, why don't you name your character Orange?
There we go. Clock is correct now. So yes, so we're down 2 players today. Jekko is off celebrating his birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Jack.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jack. I don't know whether it was a couple of days ago or is in a couple of days' time. I know you said this weekend was halfway between 2. And Navarin, damn him, is off earning money for charities. So
Wait, what?
Ah,
yeah. He's doing a
horrible.
charity pub quiz.
Oh.
Pub quiz. Oh my God, I'm missing out.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wait, he's doing a pub quiz. I gotta leave. Sorry.
So
Tell
yes.
me, inform me when that washing machine starts getting annoying because I can't turn it off.
It's not too bad at the moment.
Okay, good.
My headcanon is it's part of the ship.
Yeah, it's the engines.
Sounds like y'all need a mechanic.
Yeah, they don't actually have one on the crew.
Yes.
They had a chance to recruit an NPC one, and they
I tried. I asked her twice if she would, what, if she'd be interested.
yeah.
Oh, is this
and,
Maggie?
Do they
Yeah.
pay
Yes.
well? Because if they don't pay well,
Wait, we get paid?
Fine pay. Some people get paid.
Yeah.
The people that don't drink all my booze and leave my cargo bay door open, those people get paid.
Also, the people who don't double cross you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the main reason Maggie didn't join your crew.
That too. Oh man. God, I love and hate that first episode.
So yes, so the idea behind tonight's session is we're just sort of going to go through Laura's character. She's been working on creating it, Nyalin Tang.
Nialin,
Yeah.
and she goes by Nia.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make a note of that. And yes, so we're just sort of going to go through a sort of a bit of a description of Laura's character, and we will see sort of a bit of her background, and then we'll be working out where we can bring her on board in the storyline for next session.
Okay.
Because there's a couple of points where she could appear. It's also going to be figuring out if any of you guys actually know her. So what I thought it'd be nice to do to start with is for Valkyrie and then Red to introduce themselves and introduce their characters,
Ah, yes.
so that Laura knows a little bit about the characters that you're playing, and then we'll go from there.
You go first, Red.
Damn it! I was hoping you'd go first. Kind of tempted to do my original opening, but. So yeah, no. Zaps is a entrepreneur. You could say he's a businessman with. Some people would say he deals in illegal stuff. He more considers it as in gray goods. And he's I'm hard to say if he has a heart or not. I think he does. And aside from that, he's got himself a ship, pretty good for smuggling. You keep filing the paperwork for some reason, it doesn't get registered. Oops. Has a bunch of hidey holes, stealthy, and Another thing you need to know about Saps is that he gets very nervous around guns. Like, he does not like guns at all.
Yeah.
Saps has a heart of fake gold. Yes, says Tsundere.
Yep.
That is exactly
Perfect.
what he has.
He sold his real one.
Yeah. made a nice bargain on that too.
So yeah, Zaps is nominally the captain because he owns the ship, and he's also the only person amongst the crew who has any points in flying.
Yes.
Which
not about to
proved to be a little tricky at the end of the last adventure when they had to fly another ship out of a shipyard.
Look, Eliza did fine.
Yeah.
She only had like 7 pieces of debris.
I mean, it wasn't your ship, so it was all good.
Like, we promised her, we promised Maggie we'd get the ship. We never said
In what condition?
exactly. It still flew.
And so, a little bit about Wu then.
How to describe Wu? I think Wu is best described as a bottle of cheap booze, as in they can solve a lot of problems but cause a lot of problems. Wu has a lot of points in not charisma. What is it? It's influence.
All right,
She likes to talk away out of situations. She's not really a fighter, not because she can't fight, more that it's just too much work. If someone else can do the work for her, then she's golden, basically. If she can get money on the side with little effort, she will go for it. Is she incompetent? It depends. She looks incompetent, but she really isn't. You know, she gives an air of someone who may be a bit silly or stupid, but in reality, she knows what she's doing.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Until
I remember
alcohol
an
is
incident
involved.
I remember an incident with a cargo ramp that was never closed.
To be fair, it's not my ship. I don't really know how this stuff runs.
Fair enough.
There was no part of orientation where you told me how to close doors. I will just put that.
I don't think I ever did orientation. I think you just showed up on the ship one day. I've been able to get rid of you ever since.
Yes, and then so our other two characters are Eliza, who is the ship's medic and one of the ship's heavies as well. She was a medic for the Browncoats in the Unification War. She has betrayed the crew by trying to sell Maggie. Once they'd rescued Maggie's loot and ship for her, they then Eliza then tried to then turn Maggie into the Alliance for the Bounty as well. That didn't end very well for anybody.
No. I think at the end of the first episode ended with basically everyone in that adventure hating us. Like, there was no one who we were on good terms with at the end.
Yeah.
No one.
Because part of the way this adventure works, the stories work as well, is because you can call back to past episodes. NPCs that we introduce, if you leave on good terms with them, you can then call back to and revisit them later on. So if in an adventure you need a place to hide, you need somebody to sell some smuggled goods, you need to hire a mechanic to fix your ship. These are the people that you form good bonds with. Even if you go the other way and you try and work with the Alliance, the same thing applies. You know, you get favoured services at Alliance ports. You know, they don't hassle you as much. Turns out that they got out of that with the loot, and that was it.
To be fair, I left on good terms with the people I had a lot of drinks with.
Yeah.
You know, so
That is true. That is, you made some friends in a bar. I'll admit that.
Yeah, and then we have Isaac, who is the epitome of the bodyguard stereotype. He is always seen in pristine black suit, white shirt, tie. He's never seen without his sunglasses. And
I hear he's good with shovels.
yeah, he is basically the heavy and the odd job man. Whenever anything physical needs doing, somehow everybody else contrives to find a way that it's Isaac who ends up doing it.
Yeah.
Wow, his dry cleaning bill must be huge.
Yes.
He actually does most of that himself. We had an incredibly funny exchange about that. That completely destroyed me.
Yeah.
I think last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we were discussing what they were doing in their off time while travelling, and Isaac was doing his ironing, dressed in just a pair of white boxer shorts with red hearts on them.
Polka dots.
Oh, polka
And
dots.
still wearing his glasses, just
Yes.
completely stirred.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That still cracks me up.
Yeah.
I actually watched replays of all our sessions thus far in the last 2 weeks, and that one I was cracking up as I was cracking up on screen over that one. Kind of silly.
So yeah, as you may have gathered, we are going on a slightly silly bent with these adventures because it's more fun when we go a bit silly.
Well, you know you've played with me before, Matthew. Yes. Serious. Anyway.
I'm missing subtext here, but okay.
In past adventures, I've not always GM'd them, but Laura's usually the sensible guiding light in the party.
I think we need that. I think we desperately need that.
Look, okay, that bear in the tablecloth did not go with talking the Duke out of not killing us, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, okay?
Oh,
anyway.
I want to hear this story someday.
I don't know if I remember how we got there, but yeah.
My favourite one was still you attempting to stop my character from praying at an obviously trapped altar.
Dude, I had rolled a d20 for find on my dungeoneering skill. Okay, I had every trap in that room open to me by the rules. I rolled a straight out 20, and you fucking kneeled on a trap. Never do something while in the middle of your ranger rolling her trap check skill.
Yeah.
Never. Hey, anyway.
Yeah, I was playing a very pious paladin with very low
stupid paladin.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, if I don't even know how loud my mic is. Okay. I guess I should ask Matthew, how much do you want to know about my back character, since you know as a GM, you know I already have a little bit of hidden background. How much do you want me to reveal to the party, or do you want to bring that out in the story?
Really kind of, initially, just reveal what Nia would want to be public at this point.
Okay.
And then we'll tease out anything else.
As my bio says, Nia is just a woman who's roaming the rim, working for the highest bidder, and money isn't the only thing that has value. Passage to the system, proper contacts, those have value as well. She holds her own in a fight. She's definitely able to take down most things. Now, I'm not a heavy by any means, but not much escapes my notice, and I have a tendency to be able to help people think my way. So, what I can't do in power, I can probably do in diplomacy. This makes me a valuable crew member, and this is how I earn my living. Currently, I think we've decided... Have we decided who I'm working for right now? Matthew?
I left that with you. You had a couple of choices there.
I was going to go with the Blue Sun route. That seems to be...
Okay, yeah, so we'll be bringing you on board fairly early in the story next session then.
Yes. I'm currently working for the Blue Sun. Now, I'm not saying why. And I'm not saying that that's my... I'm completely in agreement with them, but they pay me well.
Falk, do you remember what we said about the Blue Suns last time?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember
Okay.
the conversation.
Yes.
So, yeah, as long as you can, possibly give me connections or take me someplace or away from someplace, and or are possibly more interesting than working with those traders, I might have a chance to hop a ride in your boat, find out, go someplace new. And possibly, bring some sense to your crew of misfits.
Good luck.
I have a bad habit of if I've got your back and you don't have mine, you may find my gun in your back, and we'll see how well you stop a bullet.
Oh god, this crew is getting crazier by the minute, and I'm loving every bit of it.
So yeah, I deliberately didn't give Laura very much information about the types of characters that were being played, so that she could kind of create her own character that just... It may not help your crew at all, but it will be really good to see how it all interacts. Because that's more interesting than saying, right, they need somebody who can fix the ship and fly it.
I can patch up the ship just fine.
Yeah.
We have duct tape. Tons of it.
I was literally about to say duct tape as well.
Anyway, so that's a little bit about Nia.
Yeah. And the ship is the officially, well, I say officially, is the Daedalus.
Yeah.
She's a Kintsugi class salvage ship that...
Right. I was going to try and draw her tonight.
Yeah. That has been modified for cargo haulage these days. Being of the slightly illegal nature, Zaps has modified several areas with some secret compartments for hiding goods. She also has a selection of hidden weapons that can be deployed when needed.
Yep. And she has some sensory countermeasures, so she's hard to track if she wants to be.
Yeah, built for stealth.
Yes. That's literally the distinction, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as Red stated, he keeps filing the paperwork, and she's just never been registered. So in our first adventure, she was known to everybody as the Orion. I forget what we're calling her this adventure.
Dragonfly.
Yeah.
Dragonfly, that's it, yes. So yes, she changes her name as necessary.
Okay.
Yes, and so the adventure so far is that Badger convinced the crew to take on a very, very, very simple mission.
Yeah, it's no strings attached, easy going, no, just in, out, no problem at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Transport, renowned celebrity, forgotten her name. And that's terrible, because I should know that. Liliana Fairchild, there we go. I was going to call her Liliana Vest, and that's very wrong. Yeah, renowned celebrity, Liliana Fairchild, to her wedding, which is aboard the Rim's Dream, which is a space-going luxury cruise liner.
She can afford better transport.
She can. However, she is being dogged massively by the paparazzi at the moment. This wedding is basically being hyped by the Versus equivalent of the gossip mags as the wedding of the millennium. You know, they want all the photos, all the inside details. They will stop at nothing. So she convinced her father to hire a nondescript little freighter to take her to the Rim's Dream. Nobody will know, nobody will be tipped off. She'll just hop on board, a couple of days on there, a little bit of discomfort, and then she'll be safe for her wedding. And her father, being a big shot on Persephone, where obviously, as we know, Badger is trying to climb the social elite, hired Badger to find somebody. And Badger recruited our crew. And whilst giving Liliana the tour away from her bodyguard and her wedding planner, who are on board, conveniently her bodyguard uses a sword, so Red is absolutely fine near him. Not a problem at all. Yeah. And so, she slipped a note to Eliza saying, "Help me.
I'm desperate.
I'm desperate." Yeah. It turns out that the man she's due to marry, Templeton Colt Steele,
Oh god, that yeah.
God, that name.
Distant descendant of Samuel Colt himself.
Or so he claims.
Yep. Renowned weapons manufacturer for the Alliance. Absolute rolling in cash. Basically, her father is marrying her off to him against her will because her father wants access to the land that Templeton owns on Persephone. Because it has large deposits of extraordinarily valuable materials. Now, obviously, Baron Fairchild isn't the only person interested in this land. The Blue Sun is well known to be after this supply of minerals. And yeah, the crew may or may not have found a tracking device that may or may not have come from the Blue Sun on board their ship.
And I may not have stepped on that.
Yep. But yeah, and so it turns out that Liliana really does not want to marry Templeton. He's not a very nice person. Also, she's fallen in love with Daniel Blake, the stable hand and riding tutor at her father's ranch. Her father...
that's so trite.
Yes, it's brilliant. Her father has kidnapped him and is holding him hostage until she marries Templeton. So she wants the crew to rescue Daniel, still take her to the Rim's Dream, because the morning of the wedding, Templeton will give her a sapphire necklace that is worth an absolute fortune. She will retrieve that and give it to the crew as payment, and then they will take her and Daniel someplace safe. If the crew agrees.
Yeah, because last time I think we all agreed, like, no, we kind of like our heads attached to our bodies, so...
Yeah.
I was like, that's an awful lot of risk for not a lot of money. I don't think that's a valid no. No.
So, Zaps has, after his sleep last night, had a brilliant idea how we could pull this off if we wanted to.
Who's that sleeping with, by the way? Just so that we remember this.
Yes.
Asante.
Yes. Asante Oko is the wedding planner who has been planning the wedding. She may be a little bit suspect. Her personal information on the Cortex, other than her information about her wedding planning business, is non-existent. And she occasionally wakes Red up with night terrors. When she came on board...
that's one of the things she wakes me up for, but yeah.
When she came on board, she took a liking to Red and has been sleeping with him on this voyage. We went with that route because in the original she's meant to take a liking to Mal, and I thought it would be funny just to transpose it to Red.
Because my character looks absolutely nothing like Mal.
Yep.
And apparently possibly has little of the charm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Some
looks
women...
more like Badger than like Mel, actually.
Yeah.
Well...
So that's kind of where we're up to in the adventure.
Okay.
They're mid-transit to Rim's Dream. The crew is arguing and debating about whether or not to actually help Liliana or just to deliver her and fuck off again.
This just sounds like one of those scenarios where you need someone who believes in the power of true love, and I don't think we have any of those.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
we don't.
And I'm perfectly happy for the adventure to just be, you boot her off the ship onto the Rim's Dream and then bugger off back to Badger for payment.
I don't know. I think that's a fairly good plan moment.
Like I said, I have a plan. It's just
But we're not going to make many friends that way.
no. No. The plan I have should, in theory, make sure we make no enemies on this. Like we come out scot-free on it.
Okay.
But it's highly unlikely it'll work.
You do know your crew, Red, don't you?
Yes. It's mostly the thing is I kind of want to do this plan just for the sheer joy of it coming apart.
Yep.
I think we're going to have to roll me a new character, Keith. I don't think I'm going to find any reason to join this group. I'm like trying to come up with reasons that fit, and I'm just not coming up with one.
No. This is.
I mean, the stealth ship is appealing, but I don't know if you guys can even get me to my destination.
You probably can.
The big advantage with Zaps and his ship is he is welcome in pretty much any port at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether alliance or otherwise, he has connections both good and bad. He knows a lot of people.
As my distinction says, I traded with both sides during the war.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which has advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah. So yeah, and basically what's going to happen at the very start of the next session, we could actually run it now because technically we don't need the heavies, but we might, because what's going to happen immediately when we hit the next session, before you guys manage to finish your conversations about whether you're going to help Liliana or not, is a pirate ship is going to attack you.
Oh God. Damn it.
And see, I was going to say, hold off, because I haven't worked out yet exactly why I'm working for the Blue Sun.
Yep.
So I need to come up with that.
Yeah. But that is what is going to happen. I'm forewarning you guys because you're here. But yeah.
Ooh, spoilers.
That's the next thing that's going to happen.
Okay.
They may or may not have been following you from that tracking device.
Ah, crap.
You know, you're not very smart sometimes.
Well, I didn't know what it was doing.
It took them a couple of days to find it. I had to drop some pretty hefty hints
All I'm
that
going
he
to say
needed
is,
to check the comms system.
all I'm going to say is that technically our ship's security should have picked it up.
So it really sounds like you need my first mate distinction.
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
And Wudang style, that, you know, I can work unarmed if necessary. But I'm also a Deadeye if you need a good shot.
That would probably be handy. I think Eliza's also a Deadeye, I'm not sure.
Okay.
We have,
Check that as well.
I don't think she has Deadeye as a distinction, actually.
Oh no, she's ship's doctor, one with the shadows, and a veteran. But her preferred weapon is a sniper rifle. Well,
Yeah.
a rifle.
Named Jake.
Yes.
Creative.
Yeah. So that's what's going to be happening first of all.
Okay.
Just as a little way to kick off the adventure. And then we'll be rolling into probably a little bit of discussion about what they want to do, and then roll straight into arriving at Rim's Dream.
Okay.
So those are kind of our two onboarding points for Laura. If she is aboard the pirate ship, then when they board you, she may have a chance to switch sides. If not, she will be working either aboard the Rim's Dream in some capacity, or a passenger on board.
I think the opportunity to double cross the Blue Sun sounds like a lovely time.
Exactly.
That can't possibly go wrong.
Yep.
Only if you're the wrong person.
Very true.
Okay, yeah, let's see if I can talk my way out of that one.
Or, I mean, if there's no bodies left.
There can be
No
bodies.
witnesses, rather. There
Just
can be
have
bodies.
to hide them properly.
We have the options for that. We have several hidey holes in the ship.
The black's pretty dark.
That's also true.
Just saying.
Yeah.
No traces.
But yes,
Hard to find a body.
Yeah.
a large portion of their current predicament comes from the fact that their head of security was so annoyed at being made to carry all the luggage into the ship that he forgot to search it.
I don't think he ever carried any luggage because he needed his hands free.
Yeah, it was me and Eliza.
That's
just meant to
right, he
carry
made
it, and
you
then
guys do
I
it.
got out of carrying it because I gave it to her on the ship.
They basically palmed it off on each other.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I guess we can make my entrance point. I am not really working for the Blue Sun. I have every reason to double cross them if necessary, and they're just a means of getting someplace else, and they've probably outlived their usefulness to me when we encounter them.
I mean, there's other reasons you could be on board that ship, but yeah, I mean, working for them is a valid one. So
Well, you know, you'll eventually find out I was born in the Corps, so my family's not terribly friendly with them.
Hmm.
but yes, so that's kind of where we're going with the adventure. Obviously, there's not a lot of role playing to do at the moment, but I still wanted to run a quick session to make sure that Laura was happy with everything, with the character creation, if there was any questions, and also just to kind of fill you in and get you up to speed on the adventure, really.
Okay.
As we're only one episode in, it's kind of the way it seems to work for us is each session corresponds to roughly one act of what would be the TV show. So we've kind of hit the advert break point at the moment.
Okay.
This is how television is going to be in 2050. It's like you have 2 hours of a show, 2 hours of a show, and then 2 weeks of commercials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a dreadful future.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way it's running at the moment, and that seems to be sitting quite neatly. So each episode takes about 3 actual sessions from us, and then we complete episodes. They go in your personal episode guide, giving you events you can call back to. So we've already used callbacks to Wu getting drunk last time.
No, I don't think that's a plot point though.
We haven't used it as a plot point, but people have mentioned it. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's one of
fair
those
enough.
great things that it gives you that mechanic of referring back to. And as Valkyrie Lemon says, you can spend that callback as if it were a plot point, I believe is how that works.
Mm-hmm.
To then get an action or add an extra dice or something like that. So, as you can see, our crew is slowly accruing plot points at the moment. There'll be plenty of opportunities to accrue some more before we hit the big finale. They've also accrued rather a lot of big damn hero dice, because they've been beating my dice rolls quite impressively. So if you beat... We were talking about this before we went on air, that most of the things you roll for, I will set the stakes. I will roll a pool of dice for various attributes, and usually adding a difficulty modifier dice, and then I take the highest 2. If you beat my roll by 5 or more, you get an exceptional success, which not only usually grants you extra information and things like that, but also gets you a big damn hero dice, which you can then spend and roll to improve your pool at any point where you need a better dice in the pool.
It also looks like we have one hoarder here of their buffs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Keeb, do you want me to modify my character to fit more with what the crew needs, or do you want me to just leave it as I rolled it?
I'm happy with it as you rolled it, because I think it's more fun that way.
Okay.
If you feel there's anything you want to tweak, having learned some of this, do go ahead. I don't mind that at all. But
there were some skills I wanted to pick up after the fact, and I think that I may change those, but I'm going to leave my basic skills as is.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, Wu has one plot point with a little purple dot next to it.
Oh, right.
That's because that one was awarded by Chemistry, not by me. So Wu is only allowed to use that when Chemistry says she can.
Yeah, because Ken posted something in chat, and Red basically dismissed it. Like, oh, don't say that, Ken. So I just basically said verbatim what she said.
Yeah.
What I said was, I expressed interest that Cam should actually come on this show because she's having such good ideas, and then Lemon's basically just picked up that idea and ran with it.
Yeah. So that's Chemistry's plot point.
Okay.
So yeah, so I award plot points freely, to for various reasons, often for doing stuff, cool things, making me laugh. I'm allowed to do that. Any moment of awesomeness, you get a plot point. You also get plot points, you notice, for all of your distinctions.
Okay.
If you roll a d4 instead of a d8 for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can justify that your distinction is useful here, you can roll it as a d8 to stack the dice pool.
Okay.
Or you roll it as a d4 when you're not too worried, and you'll gain a plot point which you can then spend later.
Okay.
But I think you do want to try and explain why, if you're going for a D4 version in the plot point, try to explain why it's a hindrance to the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So Red's fear of guns is actually very useful once we start to hit situations where guns start getting drawn, because for almost every roll he makes, he can roll it as a d4, gaining himself a plot point. He does run the risk of getting jinxes and getting complications, because obviously a d4, it's a 1 in 4 chance of rolling that 1. But, you know, the reward is there. The plot points become very, very useful when you can just spend them to knock back complications. You can spend them to add an extra dice to your pool, or to keep 3 dice for the total rather than 2 to boost the total. So they do become very useful later on, particularly when we're in high-stakes situations towards the climax of a scenario. Turns out this particular scenario, there may not be as big of a climax as the plot intended. But, you know.
Give it time.
I am looking, because I'm following some of the pre-gen adventures at the moment, and a lot of them have routes and paths for if the crew decide not to help this person, they do this thing that means the crew has to help them anyway. This was kind of the very first one they wrote, and it doesn't have a lot of that, so I'm kind of coming up with my own solutions for something that may not make it as smooth as the crew would like it to be if they choose not to help Liliana.
Okay.
Because it's already going so incredibly smooth as it is.
Yeah. Well, certainly Zap's very smooth.
I'm just ignoring that comment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yes, so yeah, it's an interesting little crew, because it's a miracle they stay together, really, because there's so much bickering and infighting.
I like at the end of the first adventure that I was realizing that Zaps basically can't trust any of these three. Wu's probably the one he can trust the most, because he has no idea who Isaac is working for, and Eliza has accidentally tried to sell them out already. So it's like, yeah,
And I guess you'll learn from Nia very early on that while I technically don't have any strong alliances, the crew I fly with is the crew I'm true to. That as long as you're of use to me, I don't tolerate that. Or, I don't work for you.
Okay.
That's not going to go so well with your crew either.
No.
I will say one of the questions she did ask was, will I let her kill off a player character? To which the answer is yes, I will.
Good. That should have been the answer. Thank you.
Nobody's safe.
Doing this.
I will. If the situation ends up being that way, you will be made to re-roll.
I mean, I do hope that the player playing the almost dead character also gets some say in this, but...
Yeah. There will obviously be ample opportunities to diffuse the situation, but if it ends up that way, then...
I mean, I'm completely fine with depending on the situation, I'm completely fine with Zaps biting the bullet.
As long as they get an extensive flashback scene in the movie, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Don't say we'll be okay. I was reading the guide and there's a giant full-page picture of Wash and I just lost it. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. We also have a lot of fun at Valkyrie Lemon's expense because he has not watched the series or the film.
No.
Go do it now.
But to be fair, that's kind of in line with my character, because my character
Yeah.
is a bit more just,
I do like how well it works, actually, you not knowing anything about this universe.
yeah.
Because it's like we can say things like, "Oh, this was made by the Blue Sun," and in character, Wu just doesn't care enough to know who the Blue Sun are.
Anyway, yes, why do I always end up being the reasonable one in these campaigns? Because, I technically could roll lawful good, except for the fact that I will kill my companions if necessary, so that's why I have to roll chaotic good. Chaotic neutral sometimes? I don't know.
It's one of the reasons why I asked you if you'd be interested in joining us, because I thought you'd provide an interesting perspective to this crew.
Okay, let's see how many of them I kill in the first, 6 episodes.
Oh god. By the way, is my mic doing that weird louder, softer thing again?
It was earlier, it's a bit better now.
God damn it. I'm gonna try and figure out, because we've got the time for it today, I want to figure out what the hell's going on with this thing.
Yeah, this is a new headset for me. This is the first time I've used it in online chat, so let me know if it's weird. I don't think it is, though.
It's working perfectly on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It seems to be behaving itself for streaming today, which is nice.
Yay!
But yeah, also if you have any suggestions for improving the information on screen, or prettying up what you can see so it looks nice for the stream, do let me know, because I'm working on it and playing around with what I can and can't do
Okay.
on screen.
No idea. I don't watch streams.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things I changed was rather than just writing out how many plot points you had, you actually have physical plot point tokens that you can drag about.
Which are funny, they're coins, even though the game suggests poker chips.
Yeah. Well, what these actually are is the background of the Serenity logo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that looked appropriate for in-game.
Yeah.
Things.
And then yeah, you get your big damn hero dice as actual dice. But yes, you also probably noticed you don't have health.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you're in a fight, you will get a complication that's basically bullet wound or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And each time you then continue to either fail your rolls against me or roll jinxes, your wound will step up. So they start at a D4 and they work their way up. If it goes above a D12, you're taken out, which means you're out of the fight and potentially bleeding out on the floor at that point.
Okay.
And I think there's also such a thing as high stakes rolls, right?
Yes.
In which case, if you lose that one, if you lose a roll that is a high stakes roll for you, you also get taken out.
Yeah. So you're in a Mexican standoff. You try and shoot first, and it goes wrong.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
A lot of it is focused on making it very cinematic. So there's not specific combat rules. So you'll make the roll if you succeed. I will probably ask you to describe how you make an attack. So sadly, it didn't get recorded because of internet glitches up to Twitch. So in the first episode, they faced a bounty hunter who walked on board the ship because we left the ramp open. He was willing to do a deal with them, but they all drew guns on him because apparently they don't share their bounty.
It's mostly that at some point, I think he said like he could drop Eliza and Isaac without trouble, and that kind of pissed them off.
Yes, they just shot him. So in the ensuing gun battle, Isaac did get wounded and was heading towards a fatal injury. Fortunately, he wears body armor, so he was constantly rolling that as an extra dice in his pool. For the final shot against the bounty hunter, when his complication was up to a D12, for the final shot, Eliza made it. So what happened was she shot him with her rifle. He tumbled backwards down the ramp onto the ground. Wu then slammed the door shut and they just took off. Zaps slammed the cargo bay door shut and they just took off and left it.
I still love that exchange at the end because Zaps just after that fight, he's only swearing in Chinese, muttering in himself, walking to the door, closes the door, walks back to the cockpit, and then Wu just the only thing she says is,
Oh, what's his problem?
Yeah.
being the exact person that left open the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, a few crowning moments of awesome going on in that battle, which sadly weren't recorded for posterity.
Excuse me. Sorry.
But
But yeah, so it becomes very fluid and very cinematic in that you describe what's going on. You'll know whether it was just a success or an extraordinary success, how the injuries can work.
Yeah, I got some good ones going. I've got some good options for manipulating battles and scenes.
Yeah, and I like that as the GM from this campaign it creates kind of very fluid scenes like this because instead of everybody rolling initiative and then rolling the rounds, the combat flows very well, exactly like it would in a TV show.
Yeah.
And there's like the new PDF I uploaded today, which is Things Don't Go Smooth, is now in our Drive folder. Adds a bunch of new distinctions and stuff, which is why I uploaded it. It's got some adventures in that I might choose to use or run. It's also got some very good stuff for adding criminal characters and a lot of sort of shady people.
Okay.
I was about to ask how I can.
Shady people.
I was about to ask how I can find this, but now I don't want it anymore.
I think we have enough shady people.
It should be in the Drive folder that's shared with you guys. So.
Wait,
Yep,
we
I
share.
saw it.
Wait, we share a Drive folder?
Yes.
Yes, it's called Firefly.
Which email address did you share that with?
Oh, I haven't shared it with you because you already had the PDFs. That would be why. DM me an email address afterwards and I'll get you
I
in
will.
on that share. Sorry, I forgot that. Yes, because
I was about to say, wait, what?
You already own the rulebooks. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else has got access to that folder. But yeah, so there's a bunch of new stuff in there, but I uploaded it for interest. Adds a whole bunch of ship types and things like that as well. And some interesting ways to make some of the sort of villains more recurring characters. I think there may even be a character sheet for Niska in there, so that could be fun.
Cool.
So yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of new tools to play with. I purchased that because it was on sale on Drive-Thru RPG, so I was like, yeah, why not? Let's add that.
Cool.
Because anything that gives me more ideas. Obviously, at the moment, I'm still feeling my way along with this, so we're just running with some of the pre-gen campaigns, but hopefully I'll be able to start generating
No
some
clockwork
new ones.
alligators.
Yeah. Yes.
I will give you the background on that one. We encountered clockwork alligators in a dark sewer maze, and I exploded the whole place because they were actually intended to help us and were not going to attack us, but I was just like, clockwork alligator in a sewer, I ignited a bomb.
Yeah.
Come on, what else would you do?
I probably have the same reaction.
Yeah.
I do something.
And the GM was like, those were supposed to help you, and I was like, oops, sorry. Didn't mean to blow up that entire place. Oops.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Hashtag not all alligators.
You can bring that one up yet in my fear of alligators at any time
Yeah.
you would like.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so there's all sorts of interesting bits going on with that to add some extra layers to it. And so, again, with this being able to call back to episodes thing, it could well be that this bounty hunter survived that encounter somehow, and he might show up later on.
Okay.
So again, it's all about kind of building up and building this kind of backstory for your crew as you go along, which I really like. And yeah, and one of the things reason I was saying about that is I was looking and it actually now has rules for things like grenades and explosives, and the rules are basically it's as big as it needs to be for the scene, exactly as it would be on TV.
Oh, good. So I don't have to roll for a grenade explosion.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's kind of it flows really well, and a lot of the scenarios make sense for it. Somebody sets the stakes, somebody else beats it, and yeah, I think so far we've been getting getting on fairly well with it. And the other thing that they try and squeeze into a lot of these things is timed actions.
Okay.
So, for instance, when they had to steal the spaceship in the first episode, you get so many beats to accomplish your goal,
Right.
and each beat is kind of like one scene. Can be any length of time, which is
Right.
kind of weird calling them timed actions. You know, it could one beat could take 30 seconds, the other beat could take half an hour. But so you roll to see if you accomplish the task in the beat. If you do, then you move on to the next one.
Okay.
If you don't accomplish it, you can either try and move on to the next one or roll again, but you've lost one of the pool of beats.
Isn't the key thing that even if you succeed, you lose the beats?
Yes, unless you get extraordinary successes, and then you don't lose the beats,
Okay.
so you get a chance to fail later on. So yeah, they had to skip a step, which in stealing the ship, which was turning the ship's life support systems on. Fortunately, they were wearing spacesuits, so it didn't matter so much. But they skipped that step, which made their next roll a little harder. But they didn't have enough beats left to accomplish both tasks, so they just skipped straight to the final task to ensure they were able to get out.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the way they work. Is kind of giving you these scenarios of, okay, as a group you now know you have this many beats. This is the list of tasks you accomplish. Normally it gives you just enough beats to accomplish everything. And so then it's going to be a case of, right, well, who are we sending to do these tasks and things like that, figuring it out.
Okay.
Which again, it's a very interesting way of portraying it, and a way of adding pressure and tension to the scenario of you only have so many rolls to achieve your goal before something goes disastrously wrong.
See a lot of things going disastrously wrong.
It's more fun that way.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about the series, there were episodes where the crew didn't get paid at the end, and things didn't go very well at all.
Well, yes, very true.
I mean, heck, I'd even argue that the movie was only a moderate success at the end for them.
Yeah, the only thing that's really River in the movie is really awesome, but other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did not come out of that one unscathed. So. Yes. But yeah, so it's kind of those sorts of things. Yeah, I think that's most of the mechanics covered. I did mention to you before about that completing episodes are your way of advancement. So we may have scenarios where somebody goes, well, I'm not going to be available for the next few weeks, so I'll sit an episode out or something, which is fine.
Okay.
And then we can come up with things. But yeah, the more episodes you complete, you can spend those episodes to create new signature assets, to improve your skills. See, you can step a skill up. Sorry, one moment.
okay.
You can also spend episodes to upgrade the ship as well, if you choose to.
Okay.
So the ship's skills and distinctions can be stepped up. Yes, that's the other thing you can spend them on. Each of your distinctions has 3 levels. You automatically get the first one for everything, gaining you plot points. And then you have 2 that you unlock.
Okay.
And then if you want to unlock the other 5, you can spend episodes to unlock the others.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, so if we take the example of Zaps with its...
I'm going to do a very quick restart of my browser because I think I just found the problem.
excellent.
Okay.
Be right back.
I will just recover from my small coughing fit there. Yeah, I would say Valk rather than a jacuzzi, a fish tank. But yes, so yeah, Red's distinction a little nervous around guns. All he's got unlocked in there at the moment is gaining a plot point when he rolls that as a D4 instead of a D8, so when it's a disadvantage to him to roll for that. Later on, he will be able to unlock the next ranks in that. He can then he will gain a plot point if he submits to somebody because they point a gun at him. He can then steal the gun off them and gain a plot point by doing so.
Wait, what?
Isn't that the one when you submit to somebody else? Oh no, it's just you just gain a plot point when you submit to somebody. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's because it just said you have the gun.
Yeah, it's the person. If somebody, if I unlock that, if somebody has a gun, and I just go, okay, you have the gun, you're in charge now. Then I get a plot point for that.
But he doesn't have that at the moment. He needs to spend episodes to unlock that.
I mean, I still expect Zap to mostly respond to people with a gun like that, but
yeah. But at the moment, it doesn't gain you any benefit.
Nope. Let me know if the weird up and down audio persists or not.
Okay, cool.
See, and I've got the perfect roll for that. It's got your back, sir. If Captain fails a dice roll in your presence, step up or double your attribute on your next dice roll.
Oh, nice.
This sounds like the perfect captain to use that with.
Yes.
So yeah, and I've also got one. Eventually, I could step up a complication to avoid being taken out in a fight or to re-roll.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've got some good stuff I can unlock.
Actually, funny. I think one of my distinctions actually is something I made up, with permission of Keep, of course. But
yeah, and we were talking about that with Laura because there were some of the distinctions that didn't quite fit. You know, 2 of the ranks were good, but the 3rd one wasn't. And so I was talking to her earlier about, well, we could customize a distinction for you with some of these, and we'll just tweak it as necessary to fit how you want to play your character. You don't have to go with these pre-gen ones.
Yeah, but I chose to just kind of select distinctions based on the highlighted skills, and then if I want to add some of the other minor skills, I'll just do that after the fact.
Yeah.
So, because I tend to play more well-rounded characters than one that fits into any predefined archetype.
Yeah. Whereas Isaac is very much Navarin just took one of the pre-gen characters and just tweaked the background to his advantage.
Yeah. And just slammed points into labor, I think, and perception.
I actually need to give you a plot point because all players start the episode with 1 plot point.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah, so you can spend your plot points. I've just found the actual rules for them. To keep an additional die from your pool to add it to your total. To activate a distinction trigger, because there are some that need you to spend a plot point to be able to do something. Create an asset that lasts until the end of the scene. So you pick up something or you find a way to utilise something, so that gives you an extra d6 to roll to help you with your dice rolls. Make an existing asset last until the end of the episode. So for instance, Navarin at some point had a spade and some other digging tools. If he wanted to, he could have had those persist till the end of the episode.
Okay.
To roll your big damn hero die and add it to your total after you roll, so you need to spend a plot point to roll those dice. Those ones as well, I think I didn't mention, but you get a die of the size of the biggest one that I rolled. So if I'm rolling a d10 or a d12 and you beat me enough to get the big damn hero die, you get a d10 or a d12 depending on the highest one I rolled. And also to stay in the fight when a high stakes roll would result in you being taken out, so you can just spend a plot point and go, actually no, I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to think about if I want to create a signature asset or not before next week. I didn't have enough time last night to think about that.
Yeah, that's fine. Most people have one.
Okay.
But you can equally, if you choose not to if you choose not to create the signature asset, that gives you some more points in stepping up other skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't decided how I want to go with that yet.
Excuse me.
But yeah, and then the manual has a whole bunch of what happens for various scenarios with rolling dice and how that works, including a bit about jinxes.
Okay.
But yes, complications generally give people rolling against you an extra dice, and assets give you an extra dice. And you can also do recovery rolls to help people who are injured and step back complications.
Okay.
But that'll obviously become relevant later on.
Okay.
And yeah, and then if you are taken out, I do get to decide whether you survive or not.
This is again why you don't argue with the GM.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so being taken out doesn't necessarily mean you are dead, it just means you are disabled from that scene. You can't take part.
Okay. Attributes. From what I read in the manual, it says crew members start out as D6s instead of D4s across the board.
Yes.
Okay.
And then yeah, some you'll need to step back and some you'll step up.
Yeah. No, I need all the points in everything that I can get.
Yep. And again, for your highlighted skills, don't forget you can add the
I know.
the very specific bits. So
yeah, I need to do that for my no skill.
yeah.
So.
So if we look,
Do they have a list of what the specifics are for that? I couldn't find where that was in the manual.
You just come up with what you think fits there. So the more generic, the better. In fact, for you.
Okay.
Like
So
in my case, I have both in fix and fly. I have a what's that called again? A specialization.
Yeah, specialization. That's it.
Specialization in Kintsugi class ships.
Mm-hmm.
I have a no in smuggling, and I have a bonus in perform if I'm doing a sales pitch.
Okay.
So for you, your perform you may if you want to keep with that. You mentioned singing earlier today, so your perform may be singing.
Yeah, I dropped that one just because I wanted to have there are specific combat skills I wanted.
Yeah.
So I substituted Deadeye for that.
But that could still be a way for you to reference that, and that's your perform skill if you've still got that as a highlighted skill. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to decide on that as I write backstory this week. And I will send that to you.
Yep. But yes, so that's kind of the way that works. And so a lot of people, when they have shoot or skills in shoot, they will usually mention the type of gun that they are proficient with. So pistols for Isaac, rifles for Eliza. But the same goes for fight as well. They may be proficient in unarmed fighting or swords or something like that.
Okay.
And then if you are then in that situation where your specialization applies, you get to roll an extra d6 because your specialization applies.
Okay.
So it's all about building the biggest possible pool of dice so that you can get the best result at the end.
Okay.
That's why I'm such a good pilot with the Daedalus.
Yep. Yes, so corrected me there. It's for attributes, which are the three at the top, you start as a D8, and then generally you step one back and step one up.
Okay. Start as a D8 on those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in my case, for example, I have a D8 in mental, but a D6 in physical, and a D10 in social. Because Zaps isn't very, he's a bit chubby. He's not, he's coming on in age a little bit, so he's not that physical. but he knows how to talk his way out of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually just found a list of what you can spend your episodes on. So you can turn an asset from an episode into a signature asset. So
Okay.
if you something that we created as we went along, you decided actually that was pretty badass, my character would probably keep that around. Like you pick up a special gun or
A hat.
or
A hat.
something that would something that would just be like, yeah, my character would keep this, and yeah, the hat is a perfect example of that. You would spend a plot point, turn this asset to keep it till the end of the episode, and then at the end of the episode you can spend your episode to turn it into a permanent signature asset.
Yep.
And then it's always there.
I'm trying to think of... There was one other thing which I was expecting to turn into a signature asset at some point. Can't remember.
Because your signature asset is actually the Daedalus.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun. You can also switch out distinctions. That costs you one episode, so if you're finding a particular distinction isn't working, you can just swap a new one in.
Okay.
You can add triggers to signature assets and to distinctions.
Okay.
You can step up signature assets from a D6 to a D8. That costs you 2 episodes. You can step up a skill from a D4 to a D6, which costs you 2. And then if you want to step up a skill to a D8 or higher, that costs you 3 episodes. So XP type advancement is very slow. I mean, you've got to have played 3 episodes, which for us would work out at about 9 whole sessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nothing can be stepped up beyond a D12.
Nope.
D12 is the highest dice we roll.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a little bit of a shame in some scenarios, because it's kind of like, oh, this stacks, and then this stacks, and then, oh, but I still only get up to a 12.
Which I'm like, yeah. And then the more you have more numbers, they go higher, but then you also have better chance of failure.
Yeah. More dice does mean more chances for a jinx. That's true.
Yep.
And I believe, I need to check, but I think there's something that if you roll 3 ones in the same pool...
Wasn't it just your entire pool
ones?
ones?
Your entire pool is ones. It's just like an immediate free complication.
Page 245.
That's what I was looking for.
Big fat nothing. Literally the paragraph's name.
Yeah, a botch. Yeah, free. Your GM gives you a free complication, because normally I have to give you a plot point when I give you a complication as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you just get a free one. It's just like, yep, you rolled so badly. That has happened a couple of times, actually to me, where I've rolled the entire pool of ones. So
I remember you rolling. I think it was one point where you rolled four dice and only one of them wasn't a 1.
yes.
Which meant that you could only actually... Normally you keep the 2 highest die, but you have to discard any one, so you only got to keep a 3.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, this is a really important roll for you guys. You need to beat roll 3.
Wow. Well, I guess I'll have to work really hard on that, boss.
Because they were all kind of like, right, well, this is really critical. We need to add this. Can I get away with this? We need to add that. Figuring out this massive dice pool. Like, yeah, you need to beat 3.
Oh. We can probably do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could have bad luck. I mean, it happens.
True. That's part of the reason that we did end up rolling, actually.
I have had a situation where my GM rolled a 1. And he's like, you need to beat a 1. And I rolled a 2. And I was like, well, I did beat you. And he's like, yes, but I don't think I can call that a major success. I'm like, shush.
But yes, and we have talked about being taken out in the context of fights and things like that. But being taken out also could just be you got arrested or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that just stops you from participating in a scene.
Okay.
Everybody is you're the laughing stock of the party, something like that.
Yeah. There's a good one here. Shamed by a saloon girl in a bar. That one may come up for Woo at some point.
Story of my life.
Right.
And the recovery could require kind words from your friends.
Number 1, you have friends. Number 2, they'll say nice things about you.
Yeah, we will be struggling on both those counts.
Yeah.
But yes, so there's lots of room for fun and coming up with lots of different ideas as we go along. So.
I like it as a system that's a bit more vague in things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've played Pathfinder together, and that is quite rigid, but there was still a lot of room for playing around. But sometimes you need to know exact distances and exact values.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about that campaign was like all my skills were distance based, and since we weren't using a map, it was really hard to use them.
Mm.
Whereas with this, there's none of that kind of level of rules. It's just kind of roll some dice, and then we'll figure it out as we go.
It's far more narratively focused, and as you said, more like a series. How would a scene play out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's about an hour we've been chatting and doing stuff. I think we'll probably call it there for tonight. Red, you
Sounds good to
can't
me.
make 2 weeks' time, can you?
Yeah, turns out I had I'm out of town that weekend. It rarely happens on Saturday, but that's one of the few times it does. Sorry about that.
That's fine. So that would be the 6th. So we would be looking the 13th of February. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure, if that doesn't conflict with your other plans.
Nope. The only thing I've got planned is for next week, which is going to be the pilot of my attempt at doing a Twitch-based game show.
Mm-hmm.
Title's still undecided. I need to make my mind up tomorrow and then finalise all the UI for it. So that's the only reason I'm not doing one next week, and why it's going to be 3 weeks' time. And then I'll schedule that one around this because I'm enjoying this at the moment. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Excellent.
I will note that down. Where is phone? Phone is there.
Yeah. Gabe, if I have any questions once I'm doing specializations, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Just hit me up, and yeah, we will.
Because I was thinking how specialized, because I know like for fight, if you want to do unarmed, I mean I'm sure that's allowed.
Yeah.
But like on fly, what if I want to specialize in small craft? So anything that could be small, you would allow me to say just anything small.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
We'd probably take that distinction from sort of shuttlecraft, small ships, probably up to something slightly smaller than the Serenity. I think she gets classed as a medium.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I don't want to be too useful to your crew. I'm not going to do anything that would actually be useful.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah,
I
as
mean,
I
you
say,
wouldn't fit in if you were actually useful. I mean, nobody on this boat is useful.
yeah, my guiding rule for this is go with what best fits your character. If that's a generic skill, then that's great. If it's a really, really specific one, then that might, it might not come up as much, but it could be really crucial when when it matters.
Yeah, I haven't had sales pitch come up at all.
And they don't expect it to come up often.
Yeah.
Well, because I was like on my shoot, I was thinking of that for most traditional weapons. So if it's a gun, I can shoot it. I could probably shoot a bow and arrow fairly decently, or anything else that requires, but the newer, like some of the sonic weapons that are very new, I may not be as good with them,
Yeah.
or anything that is, maybe something you shoot but is not traditional.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you're okay with actual pistols and bullets, but once we get to energy weapons, that's
Yeah, I'm like, I could probably pick it up and aim it. I'm not sure what I'll hit, but
yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of I'm happy for them to be vague, and that was the way I left it with these guys, and they chose to put in what they wanted. So Red specifically decided to focus on his class of ship, because obviously his fly skill was quite low anyway. So having that.
Hey, it's a D10.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes, it is. We bumped it up in the end, didn't we?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's why.
mostly,
This is why I'm thinking I may like not take a signature asset to bump up a few of the things I want.
Yeah.
Like skills I want, but I couldn't find enough distinctions that had those as highlighted to like make it work.
Hmm.
And as I say, if you want to customize a distinction slightly, so we tweak one and we adjust the highlighted skills, as long as we can justify it and make it make sense, then I'm on board for that. So.
I mean,
trade it with both sides wasn't even a thing. I think we completely made that up on the spot.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, First Mate's kind of an odd skill, but it works. I like the whole, like, I can re-roll on failed rolls. Anything involving the captain, I can spend plot points to join.
And I actually quite like it in sense of your character, in that it makes you instantly useful. You just kind of integrate yourself, and suddenly the captain's finding that they're just relying on you all the time.
Yeah, and then also, like, all my other combat ones are all about not being taken out or being able to pull moves right before I die, so that's very useful.
Yeah.
But that'll take a while to unlock those. But anyway. Well, because you said on distinctions, you only get the first one unlocked automatically, and I have to spend episodes to unlock the rest, right?
As part of your character creation, you get the first one unlocked automatically, and then you get to finalize character creation. Once you've picked your distinctions and your specializations, you get a pool of points to spend to bump up some other skills, or to create signature assets, or to unlock levels of these distinctions. So you can do that. I believe you get 1 or 2 unlocked automatically.
Yeah, I think it's
part
2.
Of the character creation, and then you can choose to use some of your points to unlock further ones. And
Okay.
then once you've finalised the character, then we're spending episodes to unlock any more. Because I think most of our guys have got 5 unlocked.
Okay, yeah.
5
Do you want to sit down with me personally next week and go through finalizing my character?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. We'll have a chat and we'll do that. So.
Yeah, because I just need to go through. I mean, most of my specializations I have an idea on, but I just need to go through on the last ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like the very last part of the character creation has the section on the points that you can spend to just tweak your skills a little bit.
Okay.
Because again, it gives you more flexibility based on you've taken some stuff. These are the highlighted ones, but then you can also then spend to bump up, which I think is how we bumped up Red's fly skill a little further and things like that.
Well, yeah, because I told you I wanted to take craft, but I couldn't find a distinction that had craft used in it in a way that I wanted, that didn't also include other things I didn't want to add.
Yeah. So you might just want to bump that up anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'll dig out the appropriate page number for the thing in there, and yeah. Yes. So you were asking about my my Twitch-based game show. Yes. This is my attempt to produce something funny for Twitch. Next weekend, I will be hopefully streaming with 3 guests, and we will be playing. It's going to be basically a kind of a, if this is the answer, what is the question type game. We'll be having 2 rounds, one with some current affairs questions. So I'll just read out an answer from something that's been in the news in the week, and people have to guess exactly what I'm talking about. And basically they'll be riffing, coming up with silly suggestions, I hope anyway. And then the second round I have purchased some. I can't get to them at the moment
Oh
because
god, yes. Please.
they're behind me. They are here. No, you can't even see them in the camera. Awesome. Yeah, they're there, but they're underneath a pile of magic cards at the moment. I have some Trivial Pursuit question cards from 1987. And so I'm really looking forward to having all the wrong answers, all the geography questions about West Germany and East Germany, things like that. Sporting records that were broken years ago now.
Yeah.
You
and so I'm-
young whippersnappers don't even remember when there was an East and a West Germany.
yeah.
I was-
So
I
these.
was born half a year after the wall
Yeah.
fell. No, wait, other way around. I was born half a year before the wall fell.
These cards are a year younger than me, because I will be turning 30 this year.
You all suck.
I'm mostly hoping for the science questions.
Wait, am I the oldest person again?
I'm afraid so, yes.
I hate you.
Might that be the case?
And yeah, so I'll be reading out the silliest ones of those and getting people to guess. And hopefully we'll have a bit of fun. I'll try and record that locally and maybe put up a slightly tighter edit onto the YouTubes afterwards. And if it's a success and people like it, then we'll probably do some more. My guests at the moment penciled in are Can't Buy Hats, Red,
Yep.
and a friend of mine from the internet called Jill, who is you do know her because she was our GM for our Find a Campaign, Laura. And she does improv comedy and has agreed to join in for that one. So they're my first few guests, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. The plan is to have a rotating list of guests if people enjoy it, and I've had a lot of other friends who are interested in coming along, and basically just being silly for an hour or two.
No,
That's something we can do.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I know this wasn't quite the session you may have been expecting this week, but it's a little bit of fun, and we're getting to introduce a new character, which I think is going to shake things up very nicely. I'm really looking forward to having Laura joining us for these sessions.
So am I.
And I'm looking forward to joining y'all.
So yes, we will reconvene on the 13th of February. Unless, of course, that's inconvenient for people with partners, but as a perpetual loner, curse you.
What?
It's the day before Valentine's Day. I think that's what he's hinting at.
Laura tends to celebrate White Day instead of the other ones, so...
Yeah, we celebrate Japanese style. I make him chocolate for Valentine's Day, and then he gets me flowers on White Day, because we don't believe in supporting a made-up market. And also, it's ridiculously hard to get reservations that weekend, so just why? I'll just come home, and I have a long weekend, so I'll be happy.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll schedule that in. I will adjust...
Damn it, Falk. Yes, that is exactly what this is.
Yeah, I will adjust the Loading Ready Run fan streamer calendar accordingly, and for you guys, I'll put the date in Roll20 so it says when the next scheduled game is.
Yes.
Excellent.
And that should hopefully convert that to your appropriate time zones as well.
It does.
Excellent.
Yes, am I the only one in the past?
Yes, Red and Jack are actually in the future.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Well, 1 hour from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about as far in the past as you can get in America.
Yeah.
West Coast.
Laura is moon-based time, so.
Yes, I am.
Well, good morning then.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why it amuses me. Navarin, who plays Isaac, he does for our Saturday morning. He joins in with another D&D adventure run by Senstaku, which is, I believe, late night for Senstaku, isn't it? It's first thing in the morning for now.
Might actually be, yeah. I don't know what time they record that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite fun. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I will see everybody here next week for hopefully some laughter, and then everybody else on the 13th for some more role playing.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.